This time we have it on time, so you can go to this. If you need to make a new account, which you shouldn't, that's the new secret. I changed it so I didn't want to make more now. And you will need the VF to participate, obviously, but it should deploy pretty fast because it's only one. And if it doesn't, tell me. And also, is Bergen here? No?
He's at work, I think.
No,
yeah.
Well,
Unfortunately.
we added a check, so it'll check if your ILAB username is valid.
You know, Bergen is a valid thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Bergen's space is not.
No, yeah, he put it in a wrong username, but who cares? So begin that, and then you'll be able to enrich your life with Linux.
Somehow.
So the goals here are we want to give you like the basic kind of like vibe check for what common things on Linux will look like, and we're going to do that by seeing ways that people might epic hack you, and then how to fix it. So yeah, I'm assuming that you have at least used Linux before, and you know how to like lscd vim, obviously, and that kind of thing. Here's a list of hacks I'm installing so people can get their VFs deployed. Does anyone already have theirs ready? 3 out of 20, that's good. Well, in the meanwhile, I'll have Austin tell us the jokes.
Shane, plug our announcement.
Oh, plug announcement, right. Yeah, so we have our CCDC tryouts on the 15th, because that's the day Cody was free. We also have, that may be during Cyberforce, but you know, who cares? It's probably right after.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, if it isn't, then you know,
Too bad.
yeah, CCDC is cooler.
CCDC's, yeah.
And we have a mock competition this Saturday, so you can find sign up links for in the Discord. You just go to announcements. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Okay. If you think blue team is stinky, you can also sign up for a red team for CCDC.
But if you're doing red team because you don't know what you're doing and think red team will be easier, it's not.
It's not.
You fail by default.
Yeah.
Blue team, you win by default. All right. So the golden rule, as said by Intercom and said by me, is no good, find evil. So the premise is if you see like K thread on your like process, and you're like, well, what is that? If you've seen it before on a good system, then you know it's probably okay. Or if it is malicious in this case, then you know it's some wicked level wizardry. And then find evil. So know what is normal, essentially. And here's the golden R rule: defend your life from the cyber dragon because it will attack. So for this, I copied some ASCII art off the internet and put in a bash script. And after we talk about each remediation, I'm going to be running this script to test if you actually solved it. So here's my script to see who's alive. Okay, it takes a minute. It's FP. Okay, so right now we have about 5 people alive. Only one. This is actually a bash scripting presentation. I don't know if you knew that. Here's my script to test it. Don't look at that. And here's the script I used to get the IPs. Which, can anyone point out the issue with this? This is actually a test. Why is it only printing one of them? Thoughts? I'm only getting one of the IPs when there's 6. Tell me. Not rhetorical.
Double
Dash F1.
Wrong. It's that if you don't put quotes around it, it'll collapse all white space.
Yeah, I totally knew that.
Yeah, so
Oh yeah, obviously.
if I do that, then it'll work.
Obviously, you can totally see those quotation marks.
Yeah, I knew that. I just want to make sure
We're
everyone else.
testing you, actually.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
The same.
So we wait for FPing, and then we wait for the VFs to deploy.
So that gives me the,
Austin, you got any jokes yet?
Looks like the abstract point.
Joe
Mama.
Boy.
That was good.
That would have got him, you should have said that.
And it'll speed. Okay, so here's the list of IPs. I'm at 253, so hack me if you dare.
I'll do
Don't actually. This is the blue team. And then here's how the script works. So I run bashhack.sh, which is how all red teamers work. And then I put 1 for the first one. So it looks like some people's are not fully deployed, but here's the IPs. The ones that passed, their box is just off, so that doesn't count. You can't do that. Okay, you can't just turn your box off. So
You have to, I mean, it's a valid way to like defend, right?
So log into your box, and then this should all be red. That's pretty cool, right? It looks like a dragon. Very cool. I'm watching. So if you want to see what IP you have, you can go in your terminal and just type that. I would suggest you use the interface for this one. I would not suggest using the VPN, because if you lock yourself out with firewall rules, then I'll just point and laugh, you know?
Zoom in.
Zoom in? Okay, good point. My dragon is all messed up.
Oh well.
No, I'll sacrifice the blind.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, good, we all logged in. So, yeah, if you appear on the list, just, if you get your box up and running, tell me and I'll run this again.
Mine's still got the
I'm up
spinny
there.
circle thingy. I know that.
Alright, well, I'll run it again.
Oh, yeah, you're just loading.
So that's how we're gonna do it. And then if anyone's red by the end, we hunt them down. Okay, so the first epic hack is file owners and permissions. Are you guys familiar with like RWX octal permissions?
Read
Yeah,
write
yes.
permissions. Yeah.
Amazing, yes.
Shane, could you reiterate how to get boxes?
How to get boxes?
How to get the box?
Yeah, go to cybernet.defsec.club and then log in and click the join button.
And then you get-
Yeah, you won't be able to do it because you don't have a computer.
Yes.
If you do have a computer, you
He has a
can
very vivid imagination.
yeah, SH into my box with your brain. So the trick here is that there's a billion files on the system and any of them can have wrong permissions. So in this case, if we look at /root, I'm just gonna, I shouldn't be able to read root as the DSU user, because I'm DSU. I shouldn't be able to read root. So if you see these permissions right here, these octal permissions, these first three are the user. This is kind of confusing, but these three correspond to root. These next three correspond to the group, so user, group, and then these three are other. So if there's an R in the third position right here, that means anyone in the universe on this box can read it. Does that compute?
Yo, can you explain that again?
Absolutely. So this first bit is a special bit, which I didn't talk about last time. This means is a directory. Sometimes it'll say other things like L for link.
Okay.
These next three are the user, like bad at highlighting.
Yeah.
But the R means read, W means write, the X means execute. So you can add them up to be numbers, but we don't care about that.
Gotcha.
These next three are the group, which is this column right here.
Uh-huh.
It's all root. And then these three are other, or world.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if you asked me to explain it sarcastically.
No. I get it.
So if this third one is R, it means anyone can read it. And in this case, anyone can write it. So what if I was on your box and then I said, echo your password to your bash RC? What would you do?
Ask you not to do it.
You can't do that. I'm a cyber entity,
Can
okay?
you update your IPs quick? You just-
Oh, yeah, sure. So the threat model here is someone on your system and they want to be able to do something as root. So imagine I was DSU, a lowly peasant user, and I say, Mr. Root, I would like to run commands for you. So I edit the bash RC. Oh wow, we got more users. And then I can just echo home. So since this is running as root, I basically have root level persistence whenever the root user logs in. So let's pretend I don't have the password, or I'm not a sudoer. Let's pretend like I can type the password right. Did someone change my password?
You just got pranked, bro.
Don't do it to me. No, I didn't. Okay, so you see how it echoed pwned. So that's root level command execution from a low level user.
Nice.
That's the threat here.
Hmm.
Is that juice?
It's kind of a problem.
Yeah, are we getting the flow? Okay. So the remediation would be as root, you change back your permissions to like something reasonable, like 640 for your root. So this is where the numbers come in. If you just want other people not to be able to read it, you can do other -RW. That's an E. And that would be like others, no more, read write. If I wanted to say others, read write. Yeah, come on in. It's a plus. Minus, plus, minus. Permissions, great. And I want to do it recursively, I'm gonna do it for root. So now that I made, yes, what's up?
I have a quick question.
Absolutely.
I've seen a similar symbol like U plus X to make something executable. What are all those short codes for different groups?
So
of people?
it's UGO, user group other, for the 3 sets of octets, so user
Okay.
group other, and then WRX-ST. So read, write, execute, and then suid, and then sticky.
Okay.
How come we don't need to take away execute permissions from other?
So it doesn't
Just read.
really matter because I can't do anything with execute. They might be able to read it,
Mhm.
but that doesn't really matter.
Okay.
If you were secure, then you would do 0,
Mhm.
which was 640 like before.
We made it so that other
Um,
people can
Yeah,
read
so good point.
root folders.
You
They
can't write.
can't write to the root folder.
So now I'm trying to read root. I'm like, well, how's my persistence doing? I can't read it. Sad.
Sin.
So
Not very convenient.
I see some of you have fixed it. Others have not.
40.
Yeah, did I fix it?
Yes.
Let's go.
So yeah, if you want to see if you're on this list, if I'm not like strobe refreshing it, so 253 passed. So that's me. Get wrecked.
You know that.
I get
244.
spammed.
Who are you?
240.
Oh, cool.
I'll find you 244.
Not me. I'm 240. Eat it.
I get spammed when you run
You
your
can't hack
script.
me now.
What?
I get spammed when you run your script.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Permission denied.
Don't try to fix it yet. I'm using that. So you're probably getting an error like permission denied on /root.
Make sure you're running it as your.
Don't worry about that error. That's me epic hacking. Don't
Got
worry
it.
about it. All right.
Can't be epic hacking it.
So I'm gonna say you four guys just lost cause.
Well, when the
Uh,
command doesn't work, there's a problem here.
Except Antonio, because he's got a job.
So what's the command? What?
Yeah, can you help
I have a job?
Oh, wait, you have to accept it first.
Okay, let's follow the permissions. And here are the other things, we go plus minus W or X. There's some other letters, don't worry about it. If you want to change the user, you do change, Chone? Whatever. I call it Chon, yeah.
Sean Mendez.
That's the one. The second threat we're looking at is SUID binaries. So
Sure, sorry.
the S, RWXS, is set. So let's say I had a SUID binary and it was owned by root. Anyone who runs it will run it as root. So the reason for that is, let's say you want to change your password. You're not root. You can't change the system password file. Who do you think you are? But you can convince password to do it for you. So if I do user bin password, for example, which changes the system file, it's SUID as root. So there are legitimate uses for it. However, if there was a vulnerability in password that allowed me to exploit it, then I would have a root level shell. So SUID binaries are really right targets for that kind of thing. And I've also put a root shell on your system, or a SUID shell.
Where's the shell?
Nice.
So you can do it like finding. So that's just a command I memorized. They're big enough for it. So it's finding in the. So actually, I'm gonna pump this to. I don't want to see the errors because I don't make mistakes. So this will find all SUID binaries. We got password and we got bash with 2 H's, which isn't default. All these other ones are default, and snap, it was a mistake, so you can ignore those. But bash is suspicious. So by knowing good and finding evil, we can see like, okay, what is bin bash? 2 H's, and we see it's a shell, and it's a copy of bash. And we can exploit that from DSU to become root. Exactly, yeah, that is. And then we do -P for preserve bin. Number, checkmate.
Oh, why does bash have 2 H's?
Because it's. You got epic hack. So
Wait. Oh, dang it. No, you got me.
So
I thought that was me for a
the
second.
fix,
No.
just delete that.
the fix is you can delete it or you can remove the SUID bit. Either one works. If it was a legitimate system binary like bin bash, you would just remove it. If it was an illegitimate binary like it is now, I would recommend just removing it.
So it's like,
Removing.
I just.
How would you unsort it?
Excellent question. So you do chmod and then you could do -S for everyone, or if you just want to remove the user bit, you could do U -S.
Might need to be root.
Says I can't. I already am.
Oh, it's user bin bash.
So something like that.
Oh,
Try
yeah.
doing the suid instead.
Oh, sure, yeah.
And now you see I'm green.
How's he doing this?
Sudo.
Where y'all at?
Minus
Oh, sure.
You got
Change
dragon.
The permission.
minus S. User.
So SUID binaries are really cool.
Bash with 2 S's.
Like if you make a random binary SUID, like
That seemed to work.
bin, you
Try
can
again.
escalate to root. Pretty much any binary that was not meant to be SUID, you can use.
User bash, not bin bash.
Nice. You got fast.
What is that -P flag you ran?
So -P is
Or no,
preserve. By default, bash will see like, oh, I'm SUID, that shouldn't happen, and then drop itself. But if you put -P, it'll preserve the bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, .244. Oh, good job this time.
Yo, let's go. I turned into a convertible.
So 255 and 247, that's okay.
Yo, that's me.
Like I'm trying to
I mean,
type
that's
it
not
in
me.
and all of a
I'm
sudden
the
it'll just
40.
like start holding down my backspace.
Yeah, mine does that too.
Holding
Oh,
down my
yeah,
There's so much lag.
If you're confident, you can just VPN in and SSH.
Oh, we should have.
Confident in your IP table rules ability, that is.
Also try restarting your screen session, so close the tab and open it again, sometimes that fixes it.
You can also use VMRC, which might
Yeah.
improve your experience a little bit.
VMRC also fixes it.
Or it's not in the.
Now I know Ashton is 254, 257, or 25239. Which one are you,
Oh,
Ashton?
I got it. How can I tell actually which one?
I'm Epic Cat.
I'll count. Alright, so the next one. Does anyone have any concerns on Suid?
You do
So
that
it's-
one command.
It's just that like we're using a binary that's not, generally speaking, not supposed to be like run as root, that because the suit is there, it'll run as, or it'll give us a root bash.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you go.
That actually,
yes.
So here's a command for it, find / type F. You don't have to include the type F, but you can type one. Yeah, without. You clap.
If I run this
Next one.
program, it gets root permissions.
We got SSH keys.
I saw.
So most of you should hopefully be familiar with SSH keys.
I don't see any.
You just put your public key in authorized keys, and then you can log in.
IPs are.
Except root.
That easy. So to fix it, you could edit and disable pub keys entirely, or you can just remove the offending key. So in this example, I can just dab on this user. I can just, you notice how I didn't type in a password? You wanna see me do it again? You wanna see me do it? Yeah, so you don't need a password. And the reason for this is not because of Pam, it's because I have an authorized keys file for hacker@evil. And I can actually SSH into any of your guys' boxes.
No, please.
Oh, so like this.
Actually, what's your number?
How do I check?
IPA,
Why not?
and then it's right here.
The squiggly line thing.
Oh, we're typing it.
He's not 239,
239?
but I'm suffering the same problems.
Hacker at
I'm
evil.
248.
No.
248. So, since I put my pub key on all your guys' systems, I can log into any of you guys.
Well, it's kind of like they're sketchy.
Yeah. So,
There's none.
did you just see something on your screen?
What?
Fine, I'll just do it.
Hack condition show up score.
No, I don't think so.
You know, and.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Can you get it to 240? Yeah, I can get it to 240.
No, please.
No, you fixed it.
Let's go!
Alright. Calm down, Johnny. And is this just deleting it then if it's not,
Yo.
like if you don't want it?
246.
Yeah, just delete.
was down
to the
wire.
Let's go!
Literally the same second tried to get in.
Oh, look at that, I passed.
I clicked Control O like right as you were saying you were gonna.
It's just like a hacker.
Just run
Is there a
every-
legitimate use for having public keys?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
So, yes, sir.
What are we doing for this one again?
You're removing the SSH key.
We'll just nuke it right now.
Yeah.
So,
You just can't let anyone else get it, just like your
That
password.
was close.
So pub keys are really like more secure because they can't sniff your password. They need your whole pub key. Yeah, I like pub keys.
Run away with a fixed password.
So a typical
You had access to
unit for red team is they'll make a loop to just keep dropping
You
their
could just do that.
authorized key. So what you can do in that situation is you can
We'll
just
just watch this like.
stop taking public keys in your SSH config. If you want to do that,
no problem.
that's not my phone. You could just go over here and type no.
Oh, yeah, you can just not authorize it.
So what
Yeah.
prevents them from creating a script that changes that back to yes?
Yeah, it's a cat and mouse game. They could just like nuke my system.
I know, it's amazing.
But
Um,
it's about
but yeah, it's about putting as many defenses as possible layer.
Yeah, sure, got you.
Alright, what do we got? We got a struggle with this one.
some people.
What's wrong? 239, 241, 243, 244.
What? Oh, those boys, they need to delete it.
Yeah.
Something else they might have
Where
to
did we
restart.
change there?
It's an SSH service.
So make sure you cut that SSH.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
So what I'm actually grading is if you removed
Pub key
the,
authentication.
the keys.
authentication.
So that method won't actually make you green. You'll have to remove it.
What is the system CTL restart SSH ID do?
So that restarts SSH service. When you change the config, you need to restart it for it to take effect.
Oh, gotcha.
I should be Yeah.
Oh, look at
Not for
that.
us.
Yeah, you also
Come on, Johnny, do better.
Wait, what? No, I'm still secure.
You're green, you're fine.
I'm fine, I'm 40.
Anyone have any concerns on questions? This one seems to be stumping.
I just didn't know what that was.
I think people just need to slide back out. Alright,
So why don't I need to restart this again? I don't need to.
If you just remove the key, you don't need to restart it because it actually checks every time you log in.
So that's just to kick you off as you hacked them?
No, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, so the removing it'll prevent
I was just
them from doing
curious,
it, and
'cause,
then
Actually,
if you change the public or public key authentication to no, you have to
if
restart.
somebody's SSH into your machine, just restarting SSH won't.
It doesn't kick him out, no.
It won't.
So
You have
just
to
turn
stop
off
it,
your
right?
machine.
You have to kill the PTS.
That's what I did.
I'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
stopped our
I
PTS.
know from
Just
experience
restart.
restarting
Yeah.
SSH doesn't kick me off.
You could p-kill SSHD if you were like cringe, or you could do W and then p-kill dash T. I'll talk about them more.
Oh, is that like for a specific process code?
It's for PTSs, yeah, pseudo terminals.
We were talking about this.
Okay, we're getting some green.
So let's keep that in mind.
Does anyone need help?
Yeah, somebody gets in.
Someone
We can't.
We have
They're not
to be
special.
special.
I think it's a regression.
What I do during comps is I have this running in the background so I can see if anyone logged in. And then just,
Is that the command that does that?
so then I just background
Show
just.
me the last three of everybody.
So if then if someone tries to log into my machine again, it'll like.
Whoa. Far off, don't log, I think.
They tried logging in.
Yeah, that's me.
Oh, off, like AU,
Yeah, we're at, yeah, wait, since it.
Can we go over what that command is saying?
This one right here.
Yeah.
So this is tail, follow, var log, auth log, and then background it.
Okay, log.
So then that'll let me still type things on my terminal, I can be like ls, and then if someone tries to
It'll
log
still
in,
pop up.
it'll just be on my screen.
Your box.
Alright, we're looking pretty great.
That just lets them run it.
They both.
5941 are getting done now.
it.
Hey, someone try to log in? No, that's Cron.
He's got it in the background to make sure nobody's logging in on him.
His is.
Says failed offense. You might have your public.
Hey, don't log into mine.
Oh, we have to restart the whole machine. Public is restart.
How do we restart SSH? What command do we use to restart SSH?
CTL, because you're using system D, and then restart SSH.
It's just like a hacker move.
It was literally.
It's literally a game who can type faster.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, practice typing every day.
Literally, yes.
Oh wait.
If you type faster than the hackers do, they can't get you.
100%.
100%.
Wait, we need to bring an extra white keyboard so both of us can
Type
type.
racer.
There you go.
Typeracer.com.
That's mine, so you.
Actually, that's one of my favorite typing.
Typing user. So if you do SU.
It's a good site, like you can type
That's my favorite functionality of that site.
Is racing.
Is the type racing.
And like, sometimes you get like a book that you know and it's like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And then there's this guy who's typing at 150 words per minute.
I always notice how like the last like 5 seconds, I always get like, someone just gets it like 300 words per minute, and it's like, they must practice a lot, you know?
There's no way
They were just giving me a head start, you know?
there's no way there aren't bots on that. They're all bots.
No, not, what? You're telling me I got hacked?
Nah.
Alright, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Anyone else need a hand?
How many different
with
persistence
stuff
mechanisms
like-
are there
Yeah.
on box?
Some other.
Stop removing them, I need those, that's how I'm testing.
Wait, do you use a different one every time, or how do you know which one to use?
We can check out.
Alright, I'm gonna, okay, 5-1, congratulations, whoever you are, you got it.
Who's fine.
Does anyone not want me to move on? That's right, you gotta out yourself.
I just like being here.
Was that a hand raise?
Ali, you got it?
Dylan, can you sick your life on him? Kill him.
No, I'm good.
Be my best friend.
Okay, so for the next one, it's users and passwords.
Oh no.
So if you see any users that are not supposed to be there, if you see any daemon users, pronounce demon, but I'm not gonna say that. With shells or passwords, I'll show you how to check that out, or users who have a UID of 0. This is a pop quiz for you. What determines the root user on a system?
So look, if the UID is 0.
The lowest.
Is there any
Oh,
such
got it.
thing?
So if you name a account root, it won't make it root. What matters is the UID. Conversely, if you have a user that is UID 0,
Sometimes there was like.
then that will return a root.
authentication.
So I'm gonna vim Etsy password, which is my favorite way of
I
editing.
turned off the authentication, restarted it, and, but I did the.
So you see right here,
Where are they able to log in, you can.
He's using a different.
this mucus user right here, sounds yucky, but he has a UID of 0. That's what this field is. The second field is the GID. So since this UID right here is 0, he's root. So if I soon a mucus, I'm just root. It doesn't even change my prompt.
Ignore that, but grep for :0.
So if someone has a password as mucus on our system, they are instantly root. So what you want to do, assuming mucus is now a valid user, just delete them. So if you have class, you're not going to edit Etsy password by hand like I'm doing right now. You're going to use some tool, but yeah, who's going to stop it? So to clear this,
What do you usually use? Userdel or like RM user?
I actually just edit Etsy password, but if I need to do it correctly, I'll use user del.
Okay.
So the check for this one is if you remove mucus.
Anybody can do that.
You're getting hacked.
Oh, no.
Okay, we're getting somewhere on the board.
Wait, what? Hey.
I'm gonna zoom
Dang
in so
it.
you can see my cool dragon.
You're just fixed.
It's so cool.
Okay,
How
so
do I get him? He's already in the process.
it says user mucus is currently used by users.
Yeah, so don't user del because it'll check the UID of 0 and then try to remove root. So you should just remove that line from Etsy password.
That's what I was saying, that's what
I
pass it, I don't have
that set up.
alright.
You deleted my persistence mechanism that I used to check it.
So wait, so I always get, it's always, it's default.
Disable.
I wrote the bash script in there, okay?
What was that?
I'm using that one to tell the guy when
I'm default, wait,
Rager,
Let's go.
So more about the structure of this file. This is the username.
Can you do that thing again?
Just go find me because like literally just go.
Let's go.
You got a little
I just
Burn down.
like
I almost, that's the way I would do it, because that way if you find another source user, you can just delete him too. What was the thing you were telling me to do?
Oh,
Exclamation point like
do
that.
yeah.
While
Why?
true.
Oh, no.
Why would you
So
do
I'm
that?
just gonna like print a bunch
Yeah,
of
so the command.
There you go.
command to
Go and delete and find.
Alright.
Let's go.
So yeah, the idea here is we want to delete it. Another thing you should keep track of is if any daemon users have a shell. So let's look at www.data right here. We see www.data has bin bash for no reason. Www.data does not need bin bash. So I would change this to a non-login shell, user sbin no logon. And then I would also just check, okay, I spelled it right. And I would also check Etsy shadow, which is where the password is. And I see www.data also has a password there, which is this long hash. And they should know. Mucus also exists here, but it doesn't matter because they can't log in because we delete them in the other file. But I would also lock www.data, which is not sport, but
You can't use.
it's a good vibe.
What's this thing?
Just like all the others.
It's
What is this double N now? Is it double N?
Oh, SPN.
And control U to paste it.
USR
Oh, is
So-
that kind?
slashes.
If you want to be cool, you can use the usermod -l, that's for lock. And if you need a script to change the passwords on your system, you can use that again. Keep in mind that we'll do all system users as well as normal users. So you're gonna need to you're gonna need to add a part if you don't wanna do people with shells. But we have some resources about that. Any questions on users and passwords?
Search for bash.
About just in general or?
Yeah. Why?
So
That's my question.
That's
The thing they're doing right there.
Just keep searching.
Okay, cool. I'm moving on. The next hack is cron
I
jobs.
can send you this though.
So cron jobs are cool. You just put a text in a file and then a daemon will run it every X minutes. The fastest you can do it is every minute, and they live in a ton of files. So this one right here is like the main one. This is for daily, weekly, etc. And then this is for users. So if you type cron tab -e, it'll go in this directory. Bar school cron tabs. The fix is you delete them or you disable cron. If you disable cron, make sure that your service isn't using it. So like Magento uses cron to update its database.
Change directory slash etc.
So make sure that no one is actually using it.
Slash.
So how do we do this, you may ask? Great question.
If you hit tab a couple times, it should tell you it's there.
I said 5.
Whoa.
Is that you, Austin?
Is that it?
I did it.
Dang it, I was. Alright,
Whoa, wait, what?
Huh?
Oh, I
Let's
spelled
go.
it. Okay, so this dies after it's
So
listened, so we gotta wait for a second.
Yeah.
But you can check cron. So my favorite place to go first is var school cron tabs. And then I see root. And when I read root, I see at the bottom here, it's saying pgrep lel or lel lnp 777 even bash. If you're familiar with netcat, that looks a lot like the netcat arguments. So I would say that someone copied netcat traditional to lel, and I can confirm that because I did that. And it's first checking that it's not running. So if not running, run. So it runs every minute, so I'm gonna have to wait for another minute before I check this, because I connected to it and then exited, so it killed it. So I don't know if it's been a minute yet.
I should figure it out.
But here's the structure. It's every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month. If you're interested in how to make these stars do other things, you can. It's on the internet.
To get there, that's
Look at that. We're back.
more school content.
So in order to remediate this, just remove the file.
Oh, just remove the red.
So of course, make sure that it's not something legitimate first, like if someone's doing backup, so you don't wanna just nuke them.
Hey, can you do the thing again?
I can't, I have to do it every minute.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I already passed it.
So if I was smart, I would have made this run another bash script that spins off on its own.
I would base.
Yeah, no such luck. I only tested that for a different one.
If that happened, what would be the fix?
The fix would be to delete that and then kill the process.
So you could just have infinite processes,
Yeah, no,
Yeah, pretty much.
you want a nano.
but if you stop the first one at a time, it doesn't matter.
Yes. Or you connect to
So
it and kill
really
it.
all you need is.
So other places cron tabs can live,
Yeah,
there's a ton of folders.
that's what I was trying to get at.
Yeah, daily, hourly, monthly, weekly. Cron all the time. Cron never stops.
Cron weekly.
Until you remove
Is
it.
there
Until you remove it.
an easy way to see every cron tab that every user and system has?
You just
No,
locate cron.
Not really. If you wanna see what's run, you can do auth, because it'll log in as a user with Sue and then run it. Or there's probably like a cron log somewhere. Fail.
You're not.
So, yes. Oh,
So
log.
maybe we should write the bash script and check all the different cron tabs.
Alright, I'm running again. Does everyone have it ready? Is anyone pressing enter?
We should be good, hypothetically.
Okay, most
Let's
of you
go.
Let's go.
Not there.
Did you delete the thing?
I'm good.
Please get back.
Which one is
Yeah.
it?
1 or 250.
How did you get into this?
Zero.
Any questions on cron tab?
SU.
Computer science too.
Big?
No.
No? Depressing.
Anyone need help with this one?
Go there.
No, it's not, but it can be deceptive because you check everything and you just add one tiny line, you miss it, you did.
That's true, yeah.
Alright, next one, I don't know why I stopped presenting.
System
So-
times.
Basically the cron tab, they're like, cron isn't for us. So let's remake it and make it worse. So they made system CTL timers or system D timers, and there's one of these. So, good luck. I fixed this one so I can
Now
remember.
Now you can man over.
Austin, you suck.
I patched it, what do you want?
Go along with the presentation.
Yeah, Austin, stop being such a tryhard.
Yeah,
Just
so,
rep tap beat his IP from that.
yeah, you know what, Austin? I'm sick of you.
Oh, it's in that, okay.
Got him. Ah.
So if you wanna see all the timers, you can do this wicked command, systemctl list timers all,
You
and it'll
should,
show you.
you should, re-tap ping, I think a few people have joined.
Well, then I gotta remove Austin then, okay.
You don't have to do that.
So this lab is entirely written on crappy bash scripts.
Yes, you are, okay, that's absolutely okay.
So if I'm checking out this, I see evil.timer, okay, that's normal. Anacron.timer, no wait, no. You should remove evil.timer. I'm gonna let you back in.
Slash forest, slash school, slash.
No, this is a different.
Which persistent mechanism does the fix to put it back in?
Yeah, we took care of that one already.
Now we're looking at.
So you're probably
Yeah, but
wondering,
it's still in that.
how do I stop this?
Oh, it doesn't matter.
There's like a billion ways to stop this. You can use systemctl, you can just delete it. I would recommend doing all of the above. So if you show evil.timer, it'll show you where it is, or if you just use status, actually that's probably easier. Systemctl status evil timer, and you'll see that it's right here. So it says LOL gets max, so I'm pretty confident it's not legitimate. I'm just gonna remove it. And the way timers work is that they run a corresponding service. So if I name something evil.timer, it'll run evil.service. So I also need to check that out. I'm not just gonna like willy-nilly delete things. So this says description lel, and then restart every 3 seconds and run optroasted.sh. And then this is changing my root password and spawning another shell. So fairly confident that's not legitimate. So I'm going to like scale up the chain. I'm going to remove this script, and then I'm going to remove search. And then it's still running in memory, so I'm going to pkill roasted because I know that was the script name. And I'm also going to systemctl stop evil.
Right, so what he did is root.
So it says you killed it. Why do you want me to stop it? And then it doesn't exist. So theoretically, it should be good. So that's me. Green on the board. Where are you guys at?
It changes the password.
The same thing.
So that's just a more convoluted version of cron,
Should just get rid of it, right?
and that's why people don't like systemd.
Get rid of it,
Change password.
now we need to stop that, so.
And this is kind of chaining into what was that?
Would you be
That
able
was
to
kind of
go
chaining
back?
into services. So this was a timer launching a service. So same thing with services. You can disable them, you can mask them, you can just delete it, and you can run this command if you want to see all services.
Even better.
Evil all service was the only vector on that system, but you can still do it for funds.
Does it show you where it is? Where is the service file
Same
located?
spot.
So you can do systemctl show if you want to see where it is. It's somewhere. So if I want to see where GDM was, it would show me, sorry, I can do status. It says it
Oh,
right
status.
there. And then you can just delete it.
Don't delete GDM.
Yeah, don't delete GDM.
Right.
I deleted evil already, so I just picked one.
So it's
And then I'll look through all my services.
system evil out service.
So I've been naming things like evil and like bad and roasted, but clever people will put like systemd mount resolver or something. So it's not just enough to like know how to look
Are you
at.
telling me that red team is allowed to have,
Generic,
generic,
non-hacker
non-hacker things?
They are, yeah.
What? How am I supposed to know which ones are bad?
I'm just gonna give up now.
Oh, sure, gotcha.
And you can also use debsums and tripwire and some other stuff. But usually you just need to just put these on flashcards, and then every night just memorize the list of common services.
Can you go over what you did to get rid of the timer?
Sure. So I knew it was in user lib system.
Wouldn't I have done that?
So I knew it was in this big folder, A, because I put it there, and B, because status showed
Status
me that
shows
this was
us,
the
yeah.
thing.
No, you could have just.
And then I just deleted both of them,
Removed it,
the
okay.
timer and the service, and then killed the process that was running in memory with pkill.
Space.
So I'll show you.
How did you determine what process it was? Was that under the status as well?
Yeah, so I read the unit file, I read evil.service, and it doesn't exist because I deleted it, but it said, exec on start opt roasted. So I knew it was
Okay.
running opt roasted.sh, so I could kill that.
And when you run status, it'll say loaded.
Yeah.
and
Another easy way to
Okay.
kill this is just delete opt roasted, and then obviously it won't be able to run it. And also make sure to pkill it. Any concerns or
What
questions?
was the name of the roasted thing again?
Oh, evil?
I do this regularly.
Wait, what do you have?
For roasted, like the thing that evil timer is running.
So it was running opt roasted.sh.
It actually has servers
So
even.
this is mostly.
And you'd find that by reading the unit file.
I'm getting details of this now.
Concerns, questions, insults?
I like
Sure you got it.
Yeah, how do we pkill that again?
You can just do pkill roasted, it'll match like any part of the service name. Or, I'll talk about this more later, but you can do ps oxf, and you can just see it and then kill the PID as well.
Oh, you didn't sign up yet.
I have compliments, man.
With confidence?
Yeah.
That's rare.
Good job, I learned something.
That's true,
Ah,
so you just
got
kinda
it.
have to know what's good and what's
Genius.
not.
Totally knew I was doing
You
there.
guys are getting it.
It's still there.
When do we get to action?
Yeah, don't hack me, change my password.
So what would happen if you
You still got
deleted evil.service before figuring that out?
If you deleted it, then it would just live on in memory.
And then you're
So
For
pkill
days.
just
stuck.
That's the week.
How do you resolve that then?
Then you can just stop it
with roasted.
Yeah, you could pkill it, or you could restart your box.
Okay.
Also kill it.
I'd probably just give it a kill.
Yeah, I never restart personally.
Cause that's what, that's like the shotgun
I think it was the
triangle
user
service will define.
Yeah, you reboot, they probably put in like a rootkit. You're done.
I don't.
Okay, so.
You done that before?
Did you
Yeah, I
delete
think
evil
rootkits.
summary?
Yeah, a bunch
Every
of
single
bindings.
thing.
And delete
Seems
evil
kind
summary.
of extreme, but okay.
So that's just the same thing evil timer, except you
My daily routine.
Yeah, or you can just do R every equal.
Punishment is hard.
Wake up, brush your
Right.
teeth, start doing that.
I think I'll be red team because this is DC, so you get to see my user log.
No,
rootkit.
Oh, you have to disable.
I won't put
disable.
any roots, or kernel ones on it, but.
Yeah. Please don't hack me.
Login message saying, can you please.
Is there any questions? I will be moving on. So this is the second to last one. Logs and visibility. This is kind of like the catch-all, like, here are some cool commands, LOL. Wow, that's kind of.
Get a tiered structure as.
So var log, auth log,
Error process
just tells you
was.
anytime someone tries to change users, anytime someone tries to log in, anything like that. So you'll see cron, you'll see SSH attempts, you'll see SU attempts, you'll see password changes. And I would also recommend paying attention to your service logs. So if you're running Nginx or Apache 2 or HTTPD, it's gonna be access.log, right? So if you like see like in your logs like /shell.php 200, then you should investigate that. If you see someone hitting a share you didn't know existed in Samba, check it out. So logs are really useful for telling you things that you wouldn't find on your own. So if you look at auth log and you start reading it, I will run a script to spam you, and then that'll give you a hint on something to fix.
Tell me if I cat it, you're gonna hack me.
Yes.
I too do.
So I'm spamming your guys'
So I
auth
logged
log,
back into that.
and you'll see that I'm trying to log in as a user. So if you do tail f var log auth log, you'll see that someone is trying to log in as nobody, which is it's a valid user.
I think it's a valid thing, right?
Yeah, it is a real user.
Mr. Nope. What's this guy doing?
He's used when you want to drop permissions to like nothing.
Are you picking a really report?
Like, go back to the.
No, it auto negotiates.
Oh, I see. Huh?
Dang it, okay, so.
So since someone's trying to log in as nobody, I have to guess that there was some kind of persistence mechanism on nobody. So I'm gonna check it out. Yeah, oh my god, it's logging with two N's, Austin.
God dang.
So that's not normal. So if we check out what that is, and I'm gonna shot to 55 somewhere. Because I have a suspicion that it's been bash. And we see that it is in fact been bash. So we want to fix that so it's not a sneaky login shell.
Or you can get rid of it.
Concerns, questions on that?
Got him.
Excellent.
I never would have seen
Yeah, so that's why the spamming thing is helpful, because read your logs
that.
and
I
stuff.
should have looked more just like where it's from.
So, looks like some of you guys already removed it. Austin.
I passed, let's go.
What do you want?
Let's go.
How dare you follow along?
I like it. Apparently I'm not allowed
What do you
Can you go over the visibility command?
Or scan.
So mine looks
You can't
like-
do the 1024s.
after I solved it.
Oh, yeah, what?
1024? Yeah. Like my box?
Be backdoor.
So I wasn't getting,
Oh, this
it
one,
was,
yeah.
you're nobody.
Which one do you use?
It's just different, every depends on which.
Yeah, it depends on what
Maybe he,
Yes.
Question, mine wasn't saying nobody before we did this, the only reason I was able to solve it was because you showed us nobody.
Yeah, well, I started running a script to spam you with login attempts.
Yeah,
So,
then
I can run that again for you.
yeah, if you run that again.
So you should see your logs popping up with request from
Oh,
nobody.
that's what it said, key failed, okay.
Yeah, ignore that side.
I'm not getting that,
You not getting that?
no. I'm guessing my command's probably wrong.
That's right. That's right.
ID.
Maybe connection closed, so you're not seeing the.
The fact that it's nobody, but it's the
Why don't
right.
you just
My guess would be some of the script.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah, you can.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I'm not sure what's happening, but.
As long as it's not normal, that's fine.
Yeah, it's not normal. You should definitely see auto log. Sounds good.
You're just putting in.
Looks like most people fix the shell. So you didn't like directly fix logs, but log pointed you to something that was
What does that
discovered.
mean? If that's
Incredible.
So that's saying.
Any question on that?
Execute auth.log is a script.
Not that one is the script, which is why we
Alright,
don't.
in the absence of questions, I'm
Actually, I
gonna
guess
move on
it doesn't
my
even
favorite.
execute on there, so, yeah.
4 commands. PSOXF, you wanna see processes? We got processes. PSOXF,
Just,
best command ever. You wanna see ports? We got ports. That's just fun. It's like a ship.
Thank you.
Um,
Doing PQ.
So if I do SS blunt, I'll see that all these listening ports.
Cool.
So this is how I usually see like what services am I actually running. So I see I have Samba running on 139, which is normal. Samba running on these ports as well, and on IPv6. I also have FTP, which is not, I wasn't aware of that, and SSH running. I also have a name server as part of Samba. And then cups, which is a printer daemon, and then a Vahi daemon, which is like MDNS automatic setup. Yeah, I also have GD bus daemon, which is not a real thing. So by looking at this, not a real thing. So this is actually the persistence I was using to score you guys. Was on 44.55. So I used a generic looking name.
What? You're not allowed to do that though.
I need to name it evil.
Yeah, you have to name it like something I know that's bad.
Evil.scoring.backdoor.
Well, I mean, I think that's a bit ambiguous personally, but like, yeah.
Yeah. So you can see looking ports.
No
Which I think is really
login.
cool.
No login
And you can also run ps-oxf
A
for
different
a process list.
And that file.
So those two commands will give you like
That is
an entire view of your system. In ps-oxf, you might see these things with brackets. Those are kernel threads. So don't go like hunting, like, oh, what is IRC, what is that, catch up, you know, don't do that unless you're looking for rootkits.
Can I just kill this process?
And then everything else looks normal except the back door.
So you should do.
No log.
So we see right here, I have libk threads running this, and this is running it with
Is that PS, okay,
ps-oxf, yeah.
Goes back to.
Yep, and I don't.
So this is running, this looks like a netcat call, again. They just keep doing it to us, they can't keep getting away with it.
Nano SU password and get rid of them.
And then this time, grab it.
So SS led us to that. So I'm gonna remove it. So even if I don't know how they were running this, because I don't, it's still there, and we found it to be a process. So until we figure it out, we can just start deleting things and trying to get more information on it. We know it's listening on 4455, and we know it's running on bash.
Alright, so the RM, did you do the RM?
Yeah.
So that's getting rid of the file you're using.
How do we do this?
But we can also just get rid of.
Where's this persistence coming from?
Oh, GD.
So if you get rid of the.
Isn't that one like bash.bashrc?
You got it, that's correct. So even though you don't know that this exists yet, this is where the last persistence was,
Probably.
and it was running every time someone would launch a terminal.
K-threads.
Hey, do your hack.
So what's your score?
Do the score thing?
You're gonna type password.
Oh, that's for a firewall. Yeah, so
Say what?
it was supposed to be a firewall.
Try a new channel.
So anyone have questions on cool commands and logs? Okay, next. So firewalling, this is why I want you guys to use the ILF for this one, so you can't lock yourself out. The IP tables is a very common firewall on Linux. So let's say I don't need Samba, I don't need port 21, I don't know how they keep spawning ports, but I just wanna block them. Then I can just use IP tables. So be very careful and don't expect to like understand all the commands like today. But you can do IP tables L to see your tunnel scoring engine.
Yeah, how do I hack the scoring engine to give me more points?
You don't.
Okay.
Shane, I failed. Are you happy?
Let's go!
I did the rest of it legit. It proves that I did all the rest of it legit because I failed.
It's because we just got rid of this.
Or you could have just disabled your scoring.
No, because it's
IP tables dash capital.
Yeah, so if you wanna list your current rules, you do dash capital L. And so normally you would, so I'm gonna allow things I want, and then I'm gonna change the default policy. So if you were listening to Galen's presentation, it's basically, you set up what you want, and then say everything that doesn't hit these rules, you dunk on. So I'm gonna do that now.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say, okay, I want SSH, because that's what I'm using to connect this box. So I'm gonna say, append the chain input, protocol TCP on destination port 22. And then I'm going to accept that. Accept, wait. Galen, what am I doing?
What's up?
It's lowercase j. Wait, am I stupid?
Yeah.
Okay, it's lowercase j. And then if I do IP tables L again, I will see my new. Wow, learn how to type. Jeez. I'll see my new rule, accept that. So the default policy here is
Tables
still
dash
accept.
save.
Fine.
Better.
Sake. So if you table dash save like Galen wants me to, you can see the commands that you ran, pretty much. I like dash L because it's pretty. And now I'm going to turn off everything else. So I'm gonna say, put the default policy for input to drop. So I'm still connected, which is good, and I see my policy right here change to drop. And if I do iptable save, I can see the command is input drop. So anyone trying to connect to my server, this castle right here, this box, on any port that is not 22 will fail. So that's why I'm now green. So firewall is a good tool, and I guess the lesson is layer things. Defense in depth. What the heck happened here? Who did this? Is this you, Austin? You broke my script.
Which thing?
Alright, Austin, you're getting
I kill it, you can go back to doing it.
Oh, we
No.
dropped their connection.
Oh.
one bad apple.
That was awesome.
So you see it's taking 1 second between them now because it's timing out.
It's green on your thing, that means it's bad.
If it's green on my thing, that means you did it correctly.
Let's go!
Yeah.
Alright.
And this is the last one.
That's allowed them, they wanna do
So
string
I'll
with this, because if you're not, one of the things I allowed, you know, a commander to the bottom of your list of
So here's the summary of the rules that
dash
So we did the right one part. We had the malicious SSH key, the SUID binary, the weak passwords that we changed, maybe, the cron backdoor, the service, and then the bash RC thing, that was the last file that we talked about. And you fixed the last one via firewall.
No, capital.
So here's a sample of the wild world of things that we didn't talk about. We briefly touched on bash RC, and I could replace any binary with a bash script. I could replace any binary with a compiled binary.
Show you some of these.
I didn't talk about program capabilities, I didn't talk about sudos, I didn't talk about PAM, and I didn't talk about indices. So you can literally do anything you want, and I think that's why it's like so interesting. Literally anything is possible, except things that aren't.
How do you know if something's possible?
Default is, after spending half your life on it.
That way you still have the rest of having your life that actually supports you.
Yeah, you get 2 attempts.
Dash L.
That's it. If you want to get more experience doing this type of thing, you join competitions. You can also check out our previous resources we released, and you can practice red teaming. The best way to learn how to defend is to know how you fail at defending.
Now if you,
Any questions? Base is not a question, but thank you. That's all we have. Thank you for coming. There's one person for call.
That was a mouse.
That's your MX mouse. I'm trying to understand what
Era I was getting
comes
so that I can actually use
it.
based on give something unquoted somewhere.
Now we'll do this.
I wouldn't say command.
Okay, did you see that? Well, we're already in. I'm sorry, it's too late.
Very base.
Look at that.